We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the What's on Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Brinson. Pleased to say we're finally in the new studio. We're in the new apartment. I'm so grateful to God to finally have another place and be somewhere steady to not only be able to record these episodes, but to be able to comfortably sleep in it. Too. So, um, I'm grateful to you guys to for allowing me to still have a platform like this to speak my mind, to talk to you guys about things that's going on, give my opinion about things, potentially get you guys' opinion about things, and just continue to build this community that I really want to end up being a strong source for the Black community. I want this platform to be a strong voice for the Black community and allowing us to express ourselves when it comes to certain things, whether it be what the top Black artists are doing or what the discussion should be around Blackness, loving your Blackness, saying fuck coons. Like that's that's what I want this platform to be, and actually stand up for things that are pro Black and being against things that aren't pro Black. And hip hop is always going to be something that's a part of our culture and something that I feel is for us. And you know, there's a certain artist that was deemed not like us a couple years ago around this time, and Drake, man. Uh, you know what we do around here. Let me make sure we still rolling. Minute 54 in. Hopefully the sound is good. Um, so as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while for this platform, or if you know me in real life, that I'm very opinionated when it comes to hip hop. A lot of things, spot the podcast, but especially when it comes to the Kendrick Drake battle, because as I've told the story of my thoughts on here many times, that my expectations pre-battle were definitely not what I realized after the battle. As I'm open enough to say that I was a fan of all three artists, and in fact, before the battle, I would have ordered it Cole, Drake, Kendrick. What the? Oh, I'm not even gonna say what the fuck was I thinking, because them niggas are nice, and you couldn't have told me the light skinned niggas would have did the shit that they did, and it makes all the sense in the world. Kendrick did what he did. There's no way in the world you would have told me that one of them niggas apologized for a rap battle, and that wasn't the worst of the two, because the other nigga sued a label over defamation because he got his ass kicked so bad. Like, you couldn't have told me that. So for that to not only happen, and that was cool, because again, pre-lawsuit, I'm still like, hey, I was wrong. Kendrick killed that nigga, but I still fuck with all three. Cole lame as fuck, but hey, we still rocking with Drake and Kendrick around here. By the way, especially for the not only the Drake stands and the Kendrick stands, for all y'all weird motherfuckers, as I get to my review of this Iceman album, we don't do the just because we like one nigga, we don't listen to the other nigga. That shit is weird as fuck. Shout out Screwface genre. Hip hop is my bias. Like, I like music. I don't give a fuck. Yes, I'm about to clown this nigga Drake during this review. Yes, spoiler alert, I actually like the album. Yes, that nigga got smoked in the battle. What y'all talking about? But I was still like, you know what? Pre-lawsuit, we rocking. And then not only his lawsuit, but Drake's actions after the battle, as I've said it many times on this platform, like that just that got me off of Drake. Like, I really wasn't fucking with Drake after that. But with Kendrick releasing one of my personal favorite albums of all time in GNX, and Cole releasing an unfortunately underwhelming but still good, especially compared to other people. As I'm pretty sure I said in my follow review, Cole's worst is still better than a lot of niggas' best. Don't get it twisted. Still a Cole fan around here, but even though Kendrick released something amazing, Cole released something boring as fuck. Um, we have Drake's opportunity to release his solo project with Iceman, and that's another thing. For some reason, a lot of platforms, tried to make it seem like Drake went away and then came back with Iceman. That nigga been dropping music after the battle. This shit just hasn't really been sticking like that for the most part. But I'm still someone who feels as though he should get his opportunity to get his shit off and say his thoughts ever since 2024 happened. And I'm gonna keep calling it 2024, not even the battle, because that's how really Drake refers to it, like the past 2 years and his thoughts as he goes through the project. And like I said earlier, I actually like Iceman. I'm gonna be honest, and it doesn't really shock me because before the nigga did dumb shit in his engagement with Kendrick Lamar, was a Drake fan. Was a pretty big Drake fan. So it's why I gave the preface earlier, like, hey, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan, but I also really like Drake's music. And while I don't consider myself a big Drake fan no more, I'm not gonna sit here and be a hater and be like, yeah, just because I feel he got smoked in a rap battle, I can't acknowledge that he makes good music. That's dumb as fuck. Now, what's equally dumb is the shit Drake tries to get off on this album and pretend like he's not himself when rapping on this album. Like, you would, with the shit Drake raps about on this album, and especially how he's dissing throughout the entire project, you would think it's not Drake. Like, you would think this is an album from any other artist, because no other nigga has did the shit Drake's doing, suing over a label over a diss track, a defamation suit. Which, by the way, it was a while ago, but somebody tried to debate me about it. It's defamation. I mean, it's a defamation suit, but what happened in that rap battle is not defamation. It was a rap battle. It was music. I'm a journalist. I have a journalism degree. I had to actually take a law class. Shout out Michigan State for my journalism degree, journalism law. We talked about defamation, and to explain it very simply, because I'm not a lawyer and that's not what this is for, it has to be provable. For the person you're claiming is defaming you, you have to. Defamation is very hard to win, and you have to show, without, to my understanding, without a shadow of a doubt, that that person is trying to express to the world that it is a fact that these things are saying about you is true. So, for example, you would have to. Cardi B won a defamation case because it was this random lady YouTuber who kept making videos about Cardi B saying she was doing things that were provably not true. That's how you win a defamation case. You can't take things like music that are deemed in the court of law and just in general as things that are purposely exaggerated and claim that they're defaming you. And especially when you also engaged in a rap battle and called the nigga a woman beater and say his kids were not his, then you can't sue the nigga who responded to you and claim he's defaming you. It's not how that works. But even with that, he still decided throughout this whole project to still get shit off, still diss the people he felt necessary. He pretty much had a diss for Kendrick every song if you were to interpret it that way. But he even name drops people throughout this album. He name dropped Jay-Z. He had a cold ass diss and bar for Rick Ross. He dissed ASAP. He told ASAP Rocky to kill himself. But yet this the nigga in court, like, unserious nigga. Like, I've talked to people in my life who don't like the album, understandably so, for the reason that I'm about to say. And it's just, you can't, it's damn near impossible to take Drake seriously nowadays. And even with that criticism, I still like the album. But for somebody to give a reason like that and say that's the reason why they can't like the album, it's completely understandable. Because throughout the whole project, he talks about how he's what was that one lyric? He's a corporate America hit survivor. That's a lyric of his, to where he talks about how he's battling the man, how the niggas who dissed him, or how he's alone now because niggas turned their back on him, when he's the one who, to take a quote from Sean C, he's been the one who's been poking the bear. And not even just say Kendrick. This is the nigga who is the self-proclaimed nigga who takes people's women. He starts the issues with people, allegedly. I don't know these niggas in real life. From what's seen on the internet, he starts the issues. He talks a certain way. He moves a certain way. And then when people respond based on his actions, he feels like he's the victim. He's in the middle of suing over defamation in a battle in which he engaged in. He told Kendrick Lamar's wife to dance, bitch, hands on your knees. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? But, and then another weird thing. Hey, look, like Joe Budden said, shout out Drake for being mature enough to forgive Future. Future weird as fuck. Future slimy though. I'm gonna be honest. Future Future on some snake shit. Which again, it's Future, so considering Future a bad person is not really newsflash. But it's very weird how Future is the nigga who gave Kendrick the wrong way to diss that nigga, then collaborated with J. Cole, and then stepping it up on the Drake album. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. It must clearly be the only way it makes sense is for Drake to just be like, okay, it's fuck Metro Boomin. He's the nigga who curated all of it. But then that wouldn't even make so much sense because again, if Drake told that nigga fuck your dead mama where my beat, like, and how do you expect people not to say fuck you? But in terms of reviewing the actual music, again, I actually like the album. I think Drake starts the album with a good intro that, yes, you can argue is repetitive because the whole make them, he has like 3 makes them tracks on the album. He has Make Them Pay, Make Them Cry, Make Them Remember. I think that was only 3. Matter of fact, let me pull up the track list because it actually was a solid album, at least in my opinion, to where even though it's very hard to take him seriously throughout the project, he goes throughout the project. If you give him like every benefit of the doubt, he at least acknowledges how the last 2 years of his have been uncomfortable. And he kind of, at first, he acknowledges he lost the battle, but then like claims like he didn't take a loss throughout the project. So it's very weird in terms of the actual sort of responsibility Drake takes in the part of his actions that he took, and something that even the people who've positively praised Drake have said that I disagree with. People have said that Drake has been really reflective on this album. That's one of the things the Joe Budden podcast got killed for saying. They got killed for just liking the album, which is just funny. They you can't win for losing. If you say the album is trash, you're a hater. If you say the album is good, you a dick sucker. If you in the middle, you don't actually have an opinion. So you can't really win with people on the internet, especially Twitter, but especially as a podcaster. But um I got the track list pulled up now, and oh nope, it was 4. It's Make Them Cry, Make Them Pay, Make Them Remember, and Make Them Know. And he keeps that theme throughout the project to where he goes throughout these songs not only dissing all the people who did him wrong, but he talks about how no matter what he talks about, no matter what he discusses in his music, it's not gonna be enough. He talks about how even when he digs deep, people ask him to dig deeper, which, while ironically is true, it's kind of manipulative because throughout this whole project, Drake disses people, but yet not only barely acknowledges the lawsuit, kind of praises it and triples down on it by claiming he's fighting the man while not acknowledging the fact that even if he wins the lawsuit, first of all, he's a hypocrite. Even if he wins the lawsuit, it would inherently hurt him because people could then sue him for defamation. Meek Mill could have a bag. Rick Ross could have a bag. He done called The Weeknd gay so many times. Like, and it's nothing wrong. Who cares? And why is that this? It's a whole nother conversation. Meanwhile, again, this nigga he dissed The Weeknd for being gay, but yet bragged about painting his nails. Which again, I have a belly button piercing. I'm not gonna be the nigga to criticize motherfuckers for men for painting their nails. But how are you gonna diss motherfuckers for dissing? How you gonna call a nigga gay and say that he using his money for men in the Family Matters track? And he said Abel. He didn't say The Weeknd. He named the nigga by his name and said the shit we do for bitches. And no, he said it in push-ups too. He said it multiple times, including in the same song he calls The Weeknd gay. He brags about having his nails painted. This is also a nigga who wear barrettes in his hair. In the Iceman on the cover art, he has a bead wrist on the under the Iceman glove. Like, this nigga is either the most tone deaf nigga in the world or willingly obtuse, or like he don't give a fuck and he just chooses to be a Karen and he feels like he's better than everyone and he still just feel like even if I could do it, y'all can't do it. Very odd behavior. But like, honestly, I review the album like this. If I were to take this as a Drake album and attempt to take him seriously, I could not listen to this shit because it's true. He is truly an unserious nigga. To be, here's another example. Drake had a line to where he said, "We sharing women that I already fucked at the height of my success." On Rent to Atlanta. By the way, naming that song that is funny and ironic. He proves Kendrick's point, but especially collaborating with Future. Shout out Molly Santana on that song too. We gonna get to that, but he brags about like, okay, yeah, you already got women I already been had. Wouldn't that then mean? Matter of fact, I was about to make this sound psychological. Why the fuck are you bragging about sharing women? Listen, Hollywood niggas are crazy to me. Like, the fact that he's bragging not only about sharing women, but technically bigging up the other people, because if they're getting the women, Screw said this, I think it was Screw, if they're getting the women you could get, then isn't that a compliment to them and a downside to you? Like, again, you're the same nigga who people make fun of because you keep this ASAP Rocky because he got your girl. That's what people think about you when you beef with ASAP, regardless of, because he be in terms of him, and he got smoked by Kendrick and he smoked everybody else, including ASAP. And I fuck with ASAP, and I feel his album was way better than Iceman's. In terms of that battle though, hey, and ASAP responded on Don't Be Dumb, and I feel like he should keep responding to this nigga too, because he won't keep ASAP name out his mouth, but Drake don't even realize the biggest rebuttal ASAP will always have is just telling Rihanna good night and sleeping next to her and like having a family word. He don't never got to rap to Drake again. So even if he always loses a rap battle, the niggas ever won the war between them two. That's the story. That's alleged shit. That nigga Drake. But again, even in his best moments, it's so difficult to take him seriously because Make Them Remember, I think Make Them Cry is the best sounding one between the Make Them, but Make Them Remember probably is the best lyrically because that's the 1 a.m. in Albany track people were calling, and it's the track where the disses are the most lethal, ironically not to Kendrick, which is another point I want to bring up. But he smoked niggas like, hey, and I'm a big fan of Joe Budden podcast. I really like Joe. He smoked Joe, and Joe already was on it. He knew that this was coming, but he disses DJ Khaled, insane diss, and I'm even praise Drake for this diss before I kick his back in on the same diss, because he smoked DJ Khaled and said like, apologies, I'm this weather been kicking my ass, but he smokes DJ Khaled and disses him by saying like, hey, you from Palestine and you can't say free Palestine. Ain't that some shit? Again, when Drake has the moral high ground on you, you know you fucked up. He says like, and Khaled, you went out on your dean while the beef was live. Something you can't even say a free Palestine, but it is. I guess it isn't black and white and red and green. Like that nigga, he killed Khaled. I ain't gonna lie, and just not on some rap shit. Again, ain't that some shit? First of all, I've already said this on this platform before. Free Palestine, and for DJ Khaled to be from Palestine, to be Palestinian, but not stand up for his own place and for where he's from, it's very fucked up. And it's because he probably know that it'll fuck his American money up, because how America's views are with Israel and all that shit, you're not even American. You're from. Matter of fact, I'm in front of the computer. Where is DJ Khaled from? Roots, Palestinian. 8-hour review. I don't feel like typing in the not Google shit. His parents immigrated to the U.S. from Palestine. So my nigga, come on, gang. But again, the big ass point I'm making here is Drake is not the nigga to be pointing fingers at. Drake Jewish. You haven't said shit about it either. We be one of Drake's biggest criticisms of how he doesn't stick up for the black community and how he does talk about blackness and how he does talk about hip hop. This is the same nigga who told Kendrick Lamar he rapping like he trying to get the slaves freed. Whips and chains like American slaves. Hip hop is in a bad place after getting smoked in a battle. He did blackface. He hypersexualized. What he said? What Kendrick say? Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. Him and Weinstein should be fucked up in itself for the rest of their lives. He hates black women, hypersexualized them. Like Drake, not the nigga to talk. But like, being completely honest, from an 18 song album, shit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least half the album. At least half the album is nice. Like, it's a cool album. Especially, hey, listen, Janet, from Whisper My Name to Ran to Atlanta, nice little 3-track run. Especially Janet Shut the Fuck Up and Ran to Atlanta being back to back. I feel like are really good performances to where Drake, whether you feel like he put out these 3 projects, by the way, I still don't really fuck with that nigga like that no more. I haven't got to the other 2 projects. But in terms of Iceman, he still shows that he has the capability to get that catchy hit if he actually puts effort. And especially since people feel like he's not putting forth effort. If you feel like he bullshitting and he can bullshit a Janet Shut the Fuck Up, a Ran to Atlanta, Whisper My Name, still get timestamp tracks off, like that proves the point as to why people who are big Drake fans who don't like the shit he's been putting out, that proves their point. Like you have the capability to get that hit off and to make that track that people are like, okay, this nigga back. And you just put out to some people mediocre music, which again, I feel this is a good album, but I don't feel it's better than Certified Lover Boy. So even at that, as somebody that's saying they like the album, still haven't put out a good project in ever since Certified. To me, I really like Certified Lover Boy. So to me, if I were to go the Drake hasn't dropped the albums route, I would at least say the Certified Lover Boy. But again, you're talking to somebody who likes Certified Lover Boy, who likes Her Loss, who liked I liked For All the Dogs. I like this. Like I'm a Drake fan. The nigga just be on bullshit, and even with his good music, it still falls short to some people. And even this, again, I like it, but it's still cool. Like me liking this Drake album is like saying that it's okay, like it's good music. And the standard of Drake, I'm I've accepted Drake for who he is, especially since this nigga been a cornball for the past few years, to be like, this is just the best Drake's gonna get. And if he drops like an amazing project, like if he drop a GNX or if he drop a Let God Sort Him Out or even a Casino, like Casino, I feel is the rap album of the year so far. Even if Drake drops something that good, it will be a shock to me. Like Drake been on bullshit in a literal sense for years at this point. So when he drop a bullshit album, it wouldn't surprise me. But shit, if y'all don't like this, y'all not gonna like Drake for a minute. Shit, this the same. In which even I'm saying this is positive, but people have been saying it's a negative. This been the same shit he been dropping for a minute. Like, okay, like shit. I don't know. I don't know what y'all expect from that nigga at this point. Because if this is ass to y'all, he been dropping ass for the past few years, which is what people been saying. So it is what it is. I do feel this was better than the fall off if we're taking the big 3 comparison. I would rank it as GNX, Iceman, and then the fall off. And what's very impressive to those 3 is even their worst, because there were people who felt GNX wasn't good, which I don't know what y'all would ask for Kendrick Lamar. People was asking for Kendrick Lamar to, oh, he rap too much, make good sounding music, don't care about the lyricism, and he makes a whole album giving love to his where he's from in the West Coast and making the whole West Coast sound, bringing the West Coast together, continuing the momentum of Not Like Us, and then people still say his ass. So again, especially with these three artists of Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole, you can't win for losing for some people. They're each gonna have their stand base that you can't say nothing to because they're perfect to them. You're gonna each have their haters who you can't say nothing to because they're the worst thing in the world, and then you're gonna have people who actually appreciate music to be like, hey, they make good music. You can listen to all three of them and still clown the two light skinned niggas who make very odd decisions. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, don't still really don't fuck with that nigga that much. Stay hydrated. Shout out Stanley. Not really rushing to listen to those other two projects, and I took my time with this project as it's been out for a week and a day as I'm recording this. And what I will be kind of on Drake's side with this, and to just and J. Cole said this too. Ironic because it's with these two albums, but um I agree. Y'all 1 day reviews, or for some of y'all 1 hour reviews are ruining hip hop and are just ruining discourse in general. It's even been a week, and there are many albums in my lifetime to where it's taken me a year to come back to, and multiple years to come back. Playboy Cardi's music in its entirety has been a up and down for me. I started off not really fucking with Cardi, and then after time went on, I'm like, I mean, like I hated Die Lit for years until one day it just clicked. I didn't like a whole lot of Red when it first dropped. Loved the entire project a year after. Music to me is, or I Am Music to me is still as an overall project, but the highs I feel are some of Playboy Cardi's best music. I'm also a Cardi fan. Again, that's also a whole nother point. I'm on the spectrum, so I can ramble on points for many hours, but you can listen to multiple people and multiple types of music and be a normal person. You don't have to just listen to Kendrick Lamar and be lyrical. You don't have to just listen to Drake and not give a fuck about lyrics, because you cannot if you're a Drake fan, if you're a Drake stan. Uh, you don't gotta just listen to Cardi and say intelligence is dumb and lyricism is dumb. It's good to have taste. You don't have to just listen to hip hop. Rap get a terrible, and it's because of racism. But rap gets a terrible reputation sometimes if you only listen to it as if it's not a genre of music that's, in my opinion, the best. But you can listen to more than one genre. You can listen to more than one artist, and you can hold these artists accountable. This nigga Drake is a cornball, but he make good music sometimes. Kendrick Lamar is better than him, and he smoked him in a rap battle. Drake can make competent music sometimes, and so can J. Cole. The world don't end when you say that. A lot of y'all are weird as fuck, but when it comes to that. But other than that, I feel Drake dropped a pretty solid album. You know, make sure this still recording because we definitely should. Hold on, mic on. We definitely not doing a Drake Iceman review twice. So, yep, we good. So, um, Drake did what he was supposed to do. I think he sold like 460 first week with Iceman, did like over 100K with the other two. That's pretty good. People trying to get off this like Drake falling off narrative, which first of all, if y'all saw that nigga got whacked out from the battle, y'all should have processed that shit and not go be the same with that nigga. Like I don't know what the expectation was. But even to counter that, it's Drake. He's gonna be fine, especially with how his stands are. Young Money, all three of they stands. Drake stands are very similar to Nicki Minaj stands. They just, I was about to say they're not racist, but yes they are. So Drake stands are always going to keep that nigga afloat. Drake fans in general are always going to keep that nigga afloat because he make good music. People like Joe Budden still praise that nigga because Drake be paying that nigga bills when he release music. Is hype. Just Joe and how Drake and how they're attached to each other. But Drake stands are going to keep him afloat. Drake fans are going to keep him afloat. And if he really trying to get out the label, off the label shit, whenever he actually gets off it, from y'all theory, he gonna be back to making good music again. So he's gonna be fine. If 460 first week is a fall off, my nigga, hey, even though I get the point to some people, they're saying like, are the what are gonna be the numbers post first week? What are gonna be the numbers in a month, 2 months? We'll see. But shit, it's summertime. It's Drake. I don't know what y'all expect. He's gonna be fine. I'm sure he's gonna be fine. And if he's not, I really don't give a fuck. It's his fault. Like this is how niggas with his type of ego always hurt themselves. They get to the top of the mountain, they start feeling themselves too much, and they get shot down. Why do you think Jay-Z lost to Nas? This shit, history repeats itself, and it's Drake's fault. It is what it is, nigga. Karma happens, nigga. How if Drake acted different, probably this is a nigga who did blackface. Like I'm not really sweating it. But again, also even though it's me as I'm not sweating it, it's Drake. He not gonna go nowhere. It's Drake. He can retire and never make music again. His old shit, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be in rotation. He's gonna be on the radio. Then he put a song on Drake put a song on there which I like as well. Too hard for the radio. Try to make his own version, not like us. Nigga, you're probably still gonna be put on the radio. And then if you're not, it's your fault. You are in the middle of suing your label right now for something that you benefited from, if it is true, and then you engaged in. Ironically, even I would have this point even without the tailor-made freestyle. But in the tailor-made freestyle, the AI shit, you told the nigga to talk about you like a little girls. So it's quite literally Drake's fault with his demise. But the Drake stands probably still not gonna like this review. So it is what it is. I'm telling you, I always the Infinity Stones I get from the fan bases I piss off are always gonna be funny to me. So like I said, I got Drake stands, I got Megan Thee Stallion haters who I just consider incels because all I said was Megan Thee Stallion shouldn't be cheated on, and niggas act like I said fucking something crazy, but which to them I guess it was. But other than Iceman, other than Drake, uh, so So part of this is not funny. I'm gonna get the jokes off, but part of this isn't funny. So for those of you in the boxing world or in the sports world, I gotta get the sneeze off. I've really been trying not to sneeze during this recording. I think I fought the sneeze off. But if I sneeze, sorry. That's why I said I was sick earlier. But part of it isn't funny. But for those of you who are familiar with boxing, um, or streaming, Adrian Broner is a former boxer who actually was pretty good. He was under Floyd Mayweather, and he was actually a pretty good boxer. He was known for being cocky, being charismatic, being funny, and being a pretty good boxer. Got humbled by niggas like Marcus Mariota, who he ended up getting humbled by Floyd, even though he got Floyd with a couple shots, but pretty good boxer overall. And now he's this is why I kind of say it's kind of not funny because it seemed like he kind of spiraling low key in terms of his mental state. As recently he's been collaborated with streamer and boxer Dean the Great, who I don't know if I talked about it on this platform, but he was on the bullshit some months ago too, willingly getting smacked for talking bad about people. Like he would literally he would get drunk, talk smack to MMA fighters. Mind you, the nigga like 5'6", talk smack to MMA fighters, and then he would get smacked. And he did that shit like 2 or 3 times. Dean was on some other shit. But him and Adrian Broner have been collaborating. And it seemed like the reason why I say he's been spiraling is because, similar to Dean, Adrian Broner would get alcohol in his system. They would get drunk. Him and Dean would get drunk on stream. And they would get into hijinks. They'd tell jokes, talk to people, and try to get reactions out of people. Part of it would be fun. But then you get the bullshit to where Adrian Broner, he got drunk. Him and Dean were drunk on a stream, and there's a young lady by the name of Ava who's actually been on TikTok for years. She's been, unfortunately, people have been preying on her and been weird around her for years because she's been pretty young on the internet on TikTok. I think she was like, what? I'm 23, and they said she's 19 now. So she was no more than like 16, 15 on TikTok when I first saw her. And people would comment about her and say they would do a little too much commenting on her looks. I'll just put it that way. Certified lover boy, certified. And they would think that she's older than what she was, and so they would talk about her the way they would talk about her in which she was above age when she wasn't. And so now she's 19 and Adrian Broner was drunk. I use quotation marks because even what she said, that don't excuse, but he was drunk on stream and he touched her ass without her saying nothing. And the thing that got clipped was the end of it, but she was walking away. She already seemed uncomfortable, And so she was walking away, and this nigga patted her ass and telling her to come here on some. You could tell he is intoxicated on something. But like she proceeds to understandably be uncomfortable and say like, "That's never happened to me before." Like, I understand he drunk, but he need to apologize because that's not cool. Like, and then this dumbass nigga Dean the Great proceeded to get on Twitter, and I responded to it on Twitter. People was criticizing him over it, and then Dean was like, 19 is above age. Nigga, are you dumb? And then Adrian Broner's response wasn't that better either. He apologized, even though it kind of came off backhanded. He was on some like, yo, I ain't make that girl comfortable. She overdoing it or something. Like, these niggas be gross as fuck. Like, that nigga, and again, people with common sense made the point online. Like, y'all are 30, nigga, you almost 40. Why you got a 19-year-old near you? Why you touch a 19-year-old ass? Why do you want to touch a 19? It's almost a 20-year age gap, everybody. None of my business. Date who you want to date. Just like Dean the Dumb said, even though it's very morally odd, 19 is of legal age. So I guess that's enough for people. But Adrian Broner, Dean the Great, whoever the fuck you are, control the substances that you put in your body so you don't end up in prison or traumatizing people. Again, here on the What's on Your Mind podcast, I'm gonna stand for things that I feel are should be common sense. But again, Adrian Broner is entertaining, Dean the Great is entertaining. So when they're not on bullshit, shout out them, I guess. They even had, it seemed like they was having inner turmoil with money and other shit. Again, drugs, alcohol, money, women be the shit that for some reason, listen, let me not even put that out there. But listen, it get some of y'all in a fucking twist for some reason. But just please control yourselves. We don't want young ladies hurt. Please actually protect young women, protect people. Please. Let's just keep everybody, especially black men, stay out of jail. Keep y'all shit together. But to keep it in fight news, because I never thought I would have read this sentence. I never thought I would have said this sentence out loud that I'm looking at on my computer. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I forgot to mention it earlier because I mentioned the rap bar. That nigga Drake said I was Adin Ross with streams before Adin Ross was streamed. Like before Adin Ross had streams. Like crazy ass wordplay. And it's the truth. And by the way, I think I got it on my notes. I'm gonna just speed past it real quick because it's so old. That nigga Rick Ross went off on Rory and Mal. And by the way, let me get that off too. Aka Diddy, you finally met your fucking daddy. You finally met Drake and got your little chain and dinner with him. Congratulations, you fucking dick rider. But I bring that up. I bring them back up because, ladies and gentlemen, Adin Ross has recently put on boxing streams to where he's been trying to actually kind of smart name, especially with him being him. They're called brand risk promotions, where he's been putting on some boxing events. He gets celebrities, other fighters to box, and dog, this is real life. Supa Hot Fire knocked out Ray J yesterday. Dog, I kid you not. Listen, the nigga who if y'all know, if you know, you know. Look on YouTube. I'm a big battle rap fan. He's known for making comedy rap battles, and you should know the quote if you know. Psych, that's the wrong number. Oh, but I'm not a rapper. Like that nigga. First of all, he beat the other nigga who he got to a boxing match with. Or people claim that he won because he actually, from the actual scorecard and the actual decision, he lost the fight. But to most people who watched it, Supa Hot won. But you could at least call it a draw. But he gets another box opportunity against Ray J of all people, which, by the way, I don't know what's going on with Ray J health. I wish him the best. I don't want the nigga to die. But the nigga claimed he was dying from cancer a few months ago, and then now he had a boxing match with Supa Hot. But I hope you wouldn't lie about something like that, but it's Ray J. So I hope he will, because that nigga got knocked the fuck out by Supa Hot. That nigga Supa Hot hit him with one of these. Yank, and knock that nigga the fuck out. And listen, props to both of them. I actually box. I love boxing. I'm someone who wants to get more into actually sparring. I'm self-taught at the moment, so I'm more someone who wants to get more into sparring, more into boxing whenever I can, and I respect anyone who gets in that ring. Like, even though I'm getting my jokes off, anybody who gets in that ring, more respect to anybody who does it. And there are a lot of people who do a lot of this. There are a lot of people like Ray J who do a lot of talking and would not fight. So for Ray J to actually be someone who's willing to fight on a public stand and get dropped, I don't know what the fuck was up according to their contract. He told some they was that wasn't in the script, which I hope he was bullshitting and just was saying that because he got dropped. But um congrats, shout out to Supa Hot Fire. He got his win back. Shout out to Ray J for getting in the ring. And you would think my sentence ends there. But wait, there's more. Because on that same card, shout out Adin in this regard. Adin Ross, another weird motherfucker too. But when it comes to this shit, he kind of got something going. Because on that same boxing card, matter of fact, pardon me, apparently this was an MMA card. Like, these were MMA matches in a boxing ring. Lance Stevenson tapped out Michael Beasley. Them niggas was in an MMA fight. They're in a box. So if you are familiar, to paint the picture, they're in a square boxing ring, but they don't have gloves. They don't have nothing on their hands, nothing on their feet, and they got shorts on. Pause, just because I'm describing that. But they're doing MMA fighting in a boxing ring, and Lance Stevenson. At first, they were on the ground, and at first Michael B had Lance Stevenson in a headlock. Lance Stevenson was on top of him in what would be considered half guard, but Lance Stevenson is on top. Pause again for how this is kind of getting described. Michael Beasley got him in a headlock. Next thing you know, that nigga Lance Stevenson swooped out there. She was like, boop. And got that nigga Michael in the chokehold. That nigga Michael Beasley tapped quick as hell. And it looked like that choke hurt. Like, I'm not calling that nigga for tapping. But it's just so funny with especially their rivalry. This shit then went to boxing to nah, nigga, I gotta fight you. And this nigga Lance, I think Lance beat him in both. Did Lance beat him in the 1v1? I don't remember. But again, I'm in front of a computer and I'm a journalist. So as I look up, did Lance Stevenson beat Michael Beasley in a one-on-one? He for sure kicked that nigga ass and made him tap out. So did Lance Stevenson beat Michael Beasley? Now this is probably gonna pop up in MMA, but in their first round submission, yeah, that's gonna be that's popping up in MMA. But I'm talking about when these niggas 1v1. Michael Beasley. So Michael Beasley got him in basketball. So hey, Michael got him in basketball, and Lance Stevenson got him with the hands. So I mean, to each their own, whichever one you want to brag on more, because that chokeout did look. Shout out Wade Plum. That nigga told us so. It didn't look technical, but he did get him. He did get him. Like, he's silly for that. But shout out all of them gentlemen for getting in the ring. I'm sure there were more fights on the card. I wasn't aware that the event was happening. But shout out the Clips who actually put those together. Shout out Adin for putting an event like this together. You a piece of shit in my opinion, but at least you know how to promote fights. So that's for something. That counts for something, I guess. We rock with Dochi over here. And that's just one of the reasons why you're a piece of shit. But to end off the fight reviews for a quick second, shout out Ronda Rousey. Even though that lady probably shouldn't have been in the ring with Ronda Rousey because she tapped her out in 17 seconds. Ronda Rousey also fought one more time and had her. I think she announced her retirement after the match because she hadn't fought for a minute. The lady she fought hadn't had been retired for way longer than Ronda Rousey. So Ronda Rousey did what she was supposed to do, tapped her out in 17 seconds, and she went on to win. I mean, peak Ronda Rousey was one of the best moments, especially I grew up with in sports, especially in fighting sports. She got humbled very quickly when they actually start putting women in there who know how to fight. I mean, shout out Amanda Nunes, shout out Holly Holm. Wasn't it a third one? Shit. Shout out Cyborg. I don't remember if Cyborg actually fought Ronda, but shout out Cyborg. Like, when there was women who actually knew what they was doing, they beat Ronda Rousey ass. But neither here or there. To go back to music, because I saved these two for the end, kind of on purpose, because our list, we getting towards the end of our list for our topics. But so in terms of music reviews, real quick, because I'll review another album. I would have had it at the top of the hour or at the top of the. I don't know if we're gonna get to an hour. Shout out to What's On My podcast, but Chris Brown also before 2 weeks ago, before Drake dropped his project, Chris Brown dropped his project, title project, Brown. And spoilers before my review is gonna make sense from what I'm about to say. I'm a Chris Brown fan in terms of his music. I'm a big fan of his music. Um, well, so it's weird. I don't know. There's only a few projects, and mainly his recent ones that I've listened to from start to finish. But the reason why I consider myself a big fan is because I don't know what y'all want from that nigga. That nigga damn near, if there's anybody who could consider makes perfect music or perfect albums, it's that nigga Chris Brown. Like, and that's why I can be open and say, hey, y'all probably gonna consider me a Chris Brown fan of his music. I keep prefacing of his music because outside of his music, that nigga be on some other shit too, especially on that weird color shit. He got a type. That's his business. But in terms of his music, I don't know what y'all want from that nigga because people was killing this album, especially Pitchfork, which people don't take Pitchfork seriously anyway. But people was killing this album, and again, I feel like when people say this about any artist, that show they don't listen to the artist. But if you feel like Chris Brown makes the same song over and over again, not only do you not actually listen to his music, you don't, because that nigga also raps. I'm a rap fan, so I know Chris Brown literally don't make the same type of music. He also raps sometimes, but even his R&B shit, he don't make the same song. Especially as also a singer, people somebody who was in varsity choir. I feel like people mistake like vocal tone and keeping a consistent I was about to say a consistent sound. Uh a consistent theme throughout your project and making a cohesive album means that it sounds the same throughout the project because the songs, at least from an ear standpoint, listening through in the car, because I feel like music it has to pass the initial listen test, the headphone test, the in the shower test, and the in the car test, and then actually riding in the car listening to Chris Brown's album. I wasn't able to finish it. That's why I didn't keep it at the top with Drake's album. But I got to the first 17 songs, and the nigga went 17 for 17. Like I don't know what the fuck y'all want from the nigga. Like there's not a lot of projects you could listen to, at least I feel I could listen to just straight through riding somewhere. And from you could just hit play on the Chris Brown album and it was nighttime when I was riding and listening to it too. Shout out my baby. Me and Wanda had drove to Detroit around my birthday. Shout out my birthday by the way. I turned 23 on May 14th. And we had rode up to Detroit uh afterwards one of those days and just riding back, listening to the Chris Brown album. And it was funny because at first, when I first listened to it and started it, I didn't like the collaboration with him and Sexy Red and Glorilla, but listening to it a second time, that's why it's okay for music to grow on you. It's okay for your opinion to change. Again, I know that's weird for a podcaster to even admit, but listen to it a second time. When I was listening through the album, starting the album a second time straight through, I liked all the songs. Didn't miss it all for me. So I hope when I listen to the rest of the album, it's pretty good. But for you to be able to to put out 17 straight bangers, now the nigga dropped like 30 songs a project, so that's only half the album pretty much. But to be able to put out 17 banger after banger, pretty good. Again, I don't know how people confuse having a consistent sound with the same sound. I don't feel Chris Brown makes the same song over and over again. I feel he makes good music. His album, his albums don't even sound the same. Like this don't even sound like the album, the Gray album where he got the Breezy, I think it's called. This don't even sound like Breezy. This don't even sound like uh uh. Speak to me, you got me like Indigo. I think that's the project. I'm trying to remember the song, but the Indigo project, like his projects don't really sound the same. So I don't from project to project it don't sound the same. So if you're saying him making a cohesive sound the same, which that's not even true because he has some like he had like he tried to do his on his Wiz Kid some Nigerian shit on one of the songs and it was good. It was like I don't know what y'all want from the nigga. But especially one of the most versatile artists, y'all say I'm not versatile. Y'all niggas just complain. So from what I heard, Chris Brown's Brown album, I really liked it. And um, to keep it in music, but to go back to rap. So what's so crazy is people have been people who actually care about J. Cole and are not just a stan, they've been criticizing Cole for the past few years, not only for just lyrically being a hypocrite, but people feel people have felt up and down about how he's handled Dreamville as a label and certain artists. And on the fall off, he had a lyric where he tried to big up one of his artists in JID, where he said like, "Man, if hip hop was really real, like if it was really in a good place, JID would be overly platinum." So, and it was seemed like it's a shout out at the time, but some people will question, like, like you his label mate, like he wasn't even on the fall off. Like that probably could have helped. Or just like JID proceeded to tweet, and he deleted it, which I hate to tweet and delete, but he put it out there at least. My nigga, I've been platinum before. That lyric sucked. Like he literally, because at first, again, I would love to be on the be a part of the BET Awards. I don't really know what BET be on sometimes. JID, especially for him to be a Grammy nominated artist, JID came out and said like BET didn't really acknowledge him, didn't really nominate him. Which on one end, it's kind of tough. I mean, it is what it is, my nigga. Like it happens. People get missed, but I understand his frustration, especially since I'm a big fan of JID. He makes better music than people who do get nominated for shit. So JID is really good. He's a Grammy nominated artist. He's a really good artist. He's collaborated with people like Sierra. So his name should be out there enough, and he's had platinum tracks to where he's a big enough artist to where he should at least get some type of recognition. I hope I'm assuming he meant just in terms of music, but I hope he at least got an invite at least, because not even no type of recognition, that's crazy as hell. But in that, somebody had said it, like J. Cole said it best, referring to the shout out. And JID tweeted like, my nigga, that lyric was ass. I've been platinum. I understand it. Like, I don't understand you could big up a nigga and then not put him on none of your music that you putting out. He's your artist. If you feel he should be platinum, do what you should be doing to make him platinum. Like, you know how we know about Drake? Because of Lil Wayne. You know how we know about Lil Wayne? It's Birdman. And not just because of this, but like Drake is a product. Drake was under Lil Wayne under Birdman. Like, Jay-Z says it and God did. Like, how many billionaires come from Hove crib? I count three. Ye, Ree, and me. Bronze and Rock Boy, so four technically. That nigga Jay nice. But like there are stories of people building up artists, and Jay-Z probably is a bad example depending on how you look at it. But um matter of fact, even Screw had another example where Jay-Z tried to do a similar thing where he shouted out Memphis Bleak, where he said like he was picking up Memphis Bleak, like as long as Hove around, Memphis Bleak good with me. And again, my nigga, you got a billionaire friend. That's a good shout out. But understandably so, according to Screw's rendition of the story, Memphis Bleak didn't really like that. He like, my nigga, I can stand on my own 2 feet, my nigga. Like, I understand somebody like JID being upset at that, especially since JID has already been platinum, but especially since my nigga, you the nigga that's you could be pushing me more. I could be collaborating with you more. JID claimed they got a whole collab album and we've never heard this shit. Like, oh, again, it's okay to say some of your favorite artists be on bullshit sometimes because it seemed like Cole be on bullshit. Even Drake said, dog, Drake forgave Future but didn't forgive J. Cole. And even Drake has said J. Cole don't return calls. Like, my nigga, I don't know, dog. Again, Cameron, same thing. Like J. Cole getting a bad reputation in terms of a communicator, which he's a rapper, one of the best rappers. So that's swear on it. But other than that, um, so I'm not done yet. I got a few more topics I'm about to get off. I'm sighing because of my next topic because we almost at the end. But I'm really grateful for you guys for allowing me once again to just have an audience to talk to. I've been telling myself for every upload, like, listen, 5 views, 10 views, 100 views. If I had 12 people in front of me right now, looking at me, staring at me while I was talking, it would be a big deal. Like, I'd be a little nervous. I'd make sure I'm performing well. Like, that's a really big deal. So regardless of the support I get on this platform, I want to always put it and let it be known now because I do pray and I do believe and have faith that this platform, like, I will succeed in my dreams. I will be a successful YouTuber, whatever you deem as successful is. I just want an audience that allows me to have a platform that listens to me, that allows me to speak what's on my mind, and then eventually start communicating and collaborating with a fan base and getting you guys thoughts as well. And so when I start getting 1,000 views, 10,000 views, when I become bigger than the Joe Budden podcast, when I'm the number one podcaster in the world, because that's another thing. I love Joe and them, so when I see them in number two, I love that. They should be number one because I'm not there yet. But for Akadidi to be considered the main face of hip hop media, and I don't even want to specifically be in hip hop, but I do want to be considered in the hip hop media and in that list. I'll be if academics can be number one. Oh yeah, we running up the What's on Your Mind podcast. We running up that What's on Your Mind platform and the Anthony Brinson brand. So I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm really appreciative of you guys listening to me. You guys, I really hope you guys have the faith in me that the city of Detroit do have with the fucking Pistons, because I Euro stepped that when it first happened. It's unacceptable. Shout out Thomas, dog. We gonna get you on the pod one day. We go probably refer back to this when we finally get you on the pod, dog. Because it's funny again for people who know me in real life. I can't stand Detroit teams either, and I've been a big Detroit teams hater for majority of my life. And I think I've been on record saying it, but if I'm not, I've grown up like, listen, my dad, he's a big Detroit teams fan, so he made sure I was hip to Detroit lower. And I grew up, I loved the Bad Boys, I loved Calvin Johnson, I grew to respect Matthew Stafford. The '04 Pistons were nice. Other than the few, Barry Sanders was nice. Marvin Harrison, he played for the Steelers. Was he for the Lions too? The niggas that were cold in Detroit, they're the reasons why I fucking hate when Detroit do the shit they do for the rest of my lifetime. Cause we have sucked so long as a city for our teams. We finally get a glimpse of hope in a 60-win team. First of all, the Orlando Magic was embarrassing us already. But for us to perform like we did at our home court in a game 7 against the Cavaliers, we didn't deserve to be there. Them niggas got they ass beat. And I cannot be from the city of Detroit, from the east side of Detroit, from actual Detroit, because niggas be trying to get that off too. From actual Detroit. And first of all, when the city is actually doing good, it's so great for the city and it's great for sports. And especially like New York's doing good right now. That's so great for basketball. We talking about them next. But when the city, when because we don't just lose. I'm not just on some we lost so I don't like the team shit. Just like the Lions, when they first of all, we should have won a Super Bowl that year, and we lose. Niggas was literally tweeting out Lions Chiefs Super Bowl, and we. Oh no, excuse me. Was it no? Was it the? Yeah, I think we was playing the Ravens. Regardless, I don't. It don't. If it don't. No, yeah. We was playing the Ravens because we would. I think we would beat the Chiefs, but we didn't get there. We fucking sold. And the Pistons again, with how New York playing and how we play in Game 7, we probably would have got our ass kicked, and that would have been more embarrassing. But I cannot believe we went out there and played from the moment from the beginning of the game. I'm like, oh yeah, nah, we not playing like we need. We suck. So that's very unfortunate, but it makes me happy to see the people that beat us get fucking mollywopped in the next round. Because shout out the New York Knicks. I love what the Knicks are doing. Like I said, it's great for basketball when New York is good. It's great for sports when New York is good. Like I heard they haven't been to the finals since '99. Dog, it almost been 30 years. I had to think about the Pistons. It's been almost my entire lifetime since the Pistons won a championship. They won a championship in '04. It's 2026. That's 22 years ago. I'm 23. Like damn near since I've been alive. So for the Knicks to get to the finals, I like their team. I really like Jalen Brunson. I call him the new Allen Iverson, and I hope the more that he does good and as he's one game away from getting to the finals. I hope that's not a stretch. Shit, if he win a championship, we go ahead that conversation if he's better than. But one thing at a time, because I to put a spoiler out there, I do think the championship is coming out the West this year, but if I'm wrong, it will be great for the city of New York to win the championship. That would be incredible for not only basketball, for Jalen Brunson, for the city of New York. People are trying to jump a little too early on that Becky Hammond take, whatever her name is, For those of you who don't know, I think this is the lady who was the Spurs. She used to be the Spurs assistant head coach, and she was a sports analyst who came out and went out of her way for some reason and said like players like Jalen Brunson, undersized guards, will never win a championship in NBA unless I think she did say unless your name is Steph Curry, but I think her take was like unless your name is Steph Curry, undersized guards are not going to win a championship in today's NBA. And to be fair, because people are trying to jump a little early and say, see, he went away from being in the finals. He got to win the championship. Now, if the Knicks win, and especially if Jalen Brunson's the Finals MVP, now we can have those conversations. Especially again, I've been calling him the new AI for a minute now. So if he gets the ring, my nigga, especially for New York, he probably about to get a statue just for getting them to the finals. So, especially if Brunson and them could beat either Wemby or OKC, dog, that's about to be a great win. But shout out New York, they're up 3-0 against the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. I really hope this series shows y'all that y'all need to stop putting James Harden in them Dwayne Wade conversations. I'm starting to feel bad for him, and because people put him in Dwayne Wade conversations and he but even Donovan Mitchell, dog, like again, starting to feel bad because that my nigga like just inconsistent, and it's unfortunate for them to be getting destroyed how they are. People shout out Legend of Winning, shout out Low. People are trying to get off the like East is terrible takes, and let me make sure we still going. Yep, people are trying to get off the East is trash. Hey, we got to the hour. Shout out What's on Your Mind podcast. People are trying to get off the whole like the East is very bad. That's why the Knicks are getting where they are. Take or like if the Knicks get destroyed by one of the teams in the West, then we got to get rid of conferences. If that happens, I actually do it. If the Knicks get like destroyed by one of the West teams, then yeah, we need to have that conference conversation. But I don't think it's fair to say that about the Knicks because they're doing the same thing Indiana did last year. Play who's in front of them, beat who's in front of them. By the way, the Knicks were one of those teams. So they just beat who's in front of them. And the Knicks are playing really good basketball. And do I think they're going to dominate the West? No. I think if the Knicks win, it's going to have to be in 6. They're going to have to finish in New York. I don't think they'd win a game 7. Hey, we get to do the podcasting thing and see how it take ages of mine, which the Pistons already fucked that up. But I at least thought the Pistons was going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I do think if the Knicks pull it off, it's going to have to be in 6 in their home court. But if they do win the championship, or if I'm double wrong and they pull it out in 7 in one of the West home court, that's an even better win, and it's going to be great for the sport, and it's going to be great for the city of New York. Like New York already jumping. So if they get the championship, dog, bro, New York about to be lit for like until the next year. So shit, don't let them carry it over, even if they don't win it all. Because history shows no team has ever came back from 3-0. So from history standpoint, they're going to get to the finals. So that alone is already a big accomplishment. But if they pull it off, shout out. I do think, and again, we really go see how this take ages with the damn recording this, because currently the Spurs are down 2-1 to Oklahoma City Thunder, and I am a big Wemby fan. I do think the Spurs are going to pull this out it's looking like 7, but even after a great start from the Spurs, Oklahoma City has done what champions do. They've readjusted beautifully. For some reason, the Spurs still struggle to get the 7-5 nigga the ball, but part of that is from OKC and the way they play defense and the way they're officiated, because I don't know how the fuck they get away with the shit they get away with sometimes, but they get away with it. So OKC has readjusted. They're up 2-1. If Jared McCain can put up 30, nobody's going to beat him. Like, shit, first of all, I ain't going to talk about, I just praise New York, so I ain't going to do that. But if Jared McCain can get 30, them niggas are about to have a cakewalk to the championship again. Like, and Indiana took them to 7. I'm someone that feels that Tyrese Halliburton don't get injured, Indiana beats them. So shout out to the fucking Pacers, because I don't know how they took them to 7. But if the Knicks can do it this year, or if the Spurs beat them, that's gonna be a great win, because they're playing like champions from head to toe. That MVP playing overrated, but or that MVP he ain't doing everything. He ain't playing lights out, but he's playing good enough, and they're playing good enough to win. And if they take control of the series, or if they win tonight, they're going to be a 3-1, which I don't think they're going to be a team to go a 3-1 lead. They're playing really good, and so this is a must-win for the Spurs. Somebody pointed out, it was on Lowe. One of the dudes on Lowe's stream we're a ridiculous Victor Wembanyama shot, which one of the greatest playoff games, one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. I mean, 40 and 20, that game one was phenomenal. But we're a phenomenal. We're that nigga had to put up 42 and 20, 42 points, 20 rebound, hit a Steph Curry like shot to barely beat the reigning champion. And if that didn't happen, they would be down 3-0 right now. We'd be talking about the broom. If it wasn't for an incredible Wemby shot right now, we'd be talking about the brooms. And that is crazy for the Spurs to dominate them in the regular season. And if for not one lucky shot, we could be talking about a potential sweep tonight. But in reality, we're talking about a 2-1 potential 3-1. Hey, this will be the Spurs and Wemby's humble pie, just like the Spurs had, just like the Thunder had to get when they lost to the Nuggets. So the Thunder got their humble pie, and now they've meshed. Will the Spurs need their humble pie, or will they get over the mountain? Find out in the next episode of the What's On Your Mind podcast. But other than that, man, I'll end off this episode by matter of fact, 2 show reviews. We'll end this episode with some show reviews because I'm gonna start off with Invincible, but we're gonna talk about the boys too. Shout out Invincible. Matter of fact, I'll do it together because their shows are so parallel. But shout out the most recent season of Invincible and the last season of The Boys. I personally feel both were really good. I've seen the last season of The Boys get criticized a lot due to some people feel it was rushed, some people feel the last episode was rushed. Listen, to see Homelander on his knees like the little bitch that he was, saying that he'll suck Butcher's dick to live, and just I feel it's great writing. For the nigga to have a god complex for the entire show, actually start talking blasphemous and calling himself a god in the last season, for him to get his immortality like he in his brain, and for the very last episode for him to get his powers took right away, and he can't even throw a punch without his powers, truly shows the type of bitch that he was, and to show the karma that he got, and to just truly show he was a piece of shit that deserved everything he got. Unfortunately, same for Butcher. Very selfish way to go out. As I haven't seen a lot of discussion on this with him and Frenchie, unfortunately. I feel they're two sides of the same selfish coin, to where in negative connotation with Butcher, and even kind of with Frenchie, but more positive connotation with Frenchie, to where I think The Boys was a perfect showcase of the fact that even the good guys can have flaws, and all of those characters were, a lot of those characters were really full of shit, and they got their karma at the end of the day. I put Frenchie on the same token as Butcher in terms of their selfishness, because they chose to be friends with each other. So um, even with how much, even with every opportunity Frenchie had to remove himself from Butcher, and not just Frenchie, but since I'm talking about these two, even with every opportunity he had to remove himself from Butcher, he still stayed by his side for better or for worse. And the more specific reason why I call him selfish is I was talking to my girlfriend, and she expressed, and I agreed, that she didn't really feel Frenchie had to die for Kamiko to have her like come into Jesus moment where she was just standing there, which that is crazy. The fact that she was just standing there and Frenchie just saw her in a vision, and that's how she was able to get the blast off with Frenchie. Not only do I feel that's a little silly, but I feel like that scene encapsulates perfectly shows how even Frenchie had a bit of selfish tendencies, to where we see the relationship play out, to where Kamiko is expressing to him that you don't have to be so guilty. You don't have to be someone who holds themselves so much accountable to their faults that they die, they kill themselves, they don't deserve redemption. She tried to express to him throughout the show that you deserve to live, you deserve to have a good life, and deserve to try again. You're putting in the active effort, and at least just as a personal note, if someone is putting in the actual effort to do better, they at least deserve the chance to get better. I'm not God, I'm not Christ. I'm not gonna give everybody the personal redemption, but in my religion, I mean, if you repent and say Jesus is your Lord and Savior, then you can be forgiven and you can be let into heaven. So even though throughout that Kamiko is trying to get that across from Frenchie, at the end of the day, Frenchie still chose to be kind of self-righteous. He still chose to sacrifice himself for the help and for the sake of Kamiko, even when people around him were telling him he didn't have to. And for the circumstances of the show, you could argue whether or not he had to, because his intentions were still pure as he made sure that he died for the sake of Kamiko's safety. But she still asks, even after his death, like, why would you do that? Why are you not coming in here hiding with us? Why are you sacrificing yourself? Even maybe selfish is too harsh of a word, but I don't think selfishness is always necessarily a terrible thing. His intentions were pure and he saved someone's life, but he acted irrationally and it still led to his death. And in an even worse parallel, we see with Butcher, he won. I didn't even think he was gonna get the kill on Homelander. I thought it was gonna be somebody else. But I said to my girlfriend at the beginning of the episode, like, we clearly, hopefully, as clear as day, Homelander is gonna die at the end of this shit. But I don't think Butcher makes it to the end of this show either. And unfortunately, I was right, because he wins. He gets his revenge. He kills Homelander, and it's just still not enough. Still not enough, as he decides to try and kill the rest of the superheroes with the spray and releasing it all. And we'll get to how his demise ends in a minute, to where I should have said this earlier. Spoiler alert for anybody that haven't seen the last season or last episode of The Boys, or Invincible, because I'm going to still talk about Invincible as well, to where in The Boys, with that last episode with Butcher, you can understand his hurt, you can understand his trauma, but I really love that the show still showcased that everything wasn't gonna be all good for Butcher. Like, we wasn't just go smile and Butcher gets all the confetti and the praise and he was gonna be celebrated. Like, he still had to see the consequences of his actions. He asked his son Ryan, hey, mate, man, we finally killed. I know we know what your dad was like. He was trying to explain how we know how his dad. We know this may be harsh. We know this may be hard to see us celebrating your dad, but I want to start over with you. I want to have a family. His son looked at him in the eye and was like, no. Like, first of all, I understand how my dad was, but that don't make you that much better. Like, I didn't choose you over. I didn't choose. Ryan didn't choose Butcher over Homelander. He claimed he chose himself. And you can see the pain in Butcher's face as he realizes that the consequences of his actions are still going to chase him in his life, no matter how much he tries to run away from them. And so, at least in my opinion, he put Huey in a position to do what he had to do. Huey was the one who stopped Butcher from not only killing the rest of the superheroes, but he was the one who had to pull the trigger and shoot Butcher and literally kill Butcher for him to stop. And I feel that says a lot about Butcher's character, to where even when he got everything, it still wasn't enough. He still decided that he should be the one to determine who should live and who should not live. And it wasn't just about Homelander, but about his ideology and his beliefs. And that was the thing that literally ultimately led up to his demise. Not even the thing he was fighting against, but himself. It's really crazy. And again, we get more randomness. Ryan went on with Mother's Milk, and that was pretty random. But I was surprised. I didn't expect Amazon to show some black love, and I don't read the comics, so I don't know how comic accurate this is. This all is, but shout out them for showing some black love. Shout out Mother's Milk for getting his wife back and his family back. That was happy. I'd love to see that. Ryan being added to the family now is a little random, but shout out that too. And to compare it to perfectly segue into a show like Invincible, because I feel they're very similar, probably on purpose. They're both under Amazon, probably for a reason. I feel from start to finish, I feel that last season was really good as well. We continue getting the story of Mark being someone who's conflicted with his role in the world, to where he's deemed this hero and he's deemed this beacon of hope, but he's the literal spawn of the reason why his world is suffering, and he still has care for his father. His father, Omni Man, comes back and puts Mark in a very crazy position to be like, hey, I know I almost tried to murder you and everybody on your planet, but if you don't help me, somebody else just like me will come hurt you and murder your planet and your little brother and your mama this time. What type of fucking ultimatum is that? So Omni-Man does that. Mark accepts. I'm giving you a quick rundown of things. I am spoiling, so if you guys still want to watch these things, go right ahead. I'm not saying every detail, but um, we get the Vultramites versus Earth as, like I pretty much described, the people that Omni-Man and Mark are related to, and their people have decided like, hey, fuck Omni-Man, fuck Earth, fuck Mark, it's war, and they're going to war with not only Mark and them, but the protectors of the world, to where they've decided like, hey, we need to kill Vultramites or else the world is going to suffer. And the season ends on a good note, to where there's one side who feels like, hey, the Vultramites, as long as they live on Earth, everything can be good. We'll be peaceful. The Vultramites agree to be peaceful as long as they're on Earth, and they're able to continue their race. Their people don't die out. All good, right? No, because the protector of the world, they don't just. It's not just kill Vultramites. It's not just kill the Vultramites who are a threat. Kill all Vultramites. That is what the orange guy, one of his friends who passed, I'm trying to be a bit vague, he asked him to make a promise. Like, hey, if I die, use my potion to kill all Vultramites. No exceptions. That now means destroying Earth. The literal thing that they've been trying to fight against this whole time. Incredible writing. Like, this is in the comic, incredible writing. So now it's Earth. So now Mark will most likely end up having to defend the exact same people who tried to destroy his own Earth, because they're now just like him, Vultramites who lived on Earth, against the protectors of the world, protectors of the galaxy, who were originally trying to help Mark, and now it's Vultramites against the protectors. At first the Vultramites were the enemy, now they're the friend. Beautiful writing, because now it puts the orange guy in a position to either ignore his friend who asked him of that promise, which you could, he did now. As long as Vultramites don't have no problem, you could do that. Or honor his friend and still say fuck all Vultramites, even if that means getting rid of the same planet he was just trying to help. And with that being said, man, I can't say it enough. I love doing this. Like, I can't wait to the point where I could take care of myself, my family, my girlfriend, my kids whenever I have kids, just from being able to pod, just from being able to speak my mind. And I can't wait to be able to change people's lives and help people just from speaking my mind, just from allowing them a platform, chair right next to me, chair right in front of me, to speak their mind. And I'm really grateful to be able to talk about all these topics and to be able to be here with you. And I'm grateful for you guys' patience with me, with my uploads and the content I talk about. And don't hesitate to tell me what's on your mind. Again, I don't. I try to talk about it as much as I can. This platform started off just like I am now, being alone, being by myself, and not having anywhere to get my thoughts out, and just recording myself doing it. So never hesitate to tell me what's on your mind, and hope to see y'all later. Peace out.